Thank you very much, Dr. Malhettiarachchi. Our next speaker for this session too is Dr. Safras. Dr. Safras is a graduate from Riga Stradiņu University in Latvia and is a postgraduate trainee in disaster management at University of Peradenium. Further, he has practiced in many disaster management courses and conferences nationally and internationally. Dr. Safras is a medical officer attached to Ministry of Health and is seconded to the Sri Lanka Army. In his volunteer capacity, he works as the Psychosocial Advisor to the National Reconciliation Unit at the Office of the Reconciliation Advisor to His Excellency the President. He has been working as a zonal health coordinator in Manik Farm in providing healthcare services for internally displaced personnel. Dr. Safras has been serving as the consultant and rehabilitation healthcare coordinator to the Bureau of the Commissioner General Rehabilitation in rehabilitation and reintegration of ex-combatants, and he has been another pioneer member of the team Rehabilitation. Today, Dr. Safras will present you the psychosocial aspects of de-radicalization of ex-combatants. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Safras.
Thank you, Chair. Command of the Army, Lieutenant General Jagat Jayasuriya, Dr. Subramanian Swami, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start the health and the psychosocial aspects of de-radicalization of ex-combatants. With the theme of health as bridge for peace, the medical and the psychosocial rehabilitation programs are conducted for the ex-combatants or the beneficiaries. So I see the war as a disease or a conflict as a disease. As an example, if one of our parents got high blood sugar, we all are worried that we might get it. And we think of preventing it. And the war or conflict need to be prevented. There are three ways: primary prevention, secondary prevention, and tertiary prevention. Primary prevention is something when my mother or father is having high blood sugar, I will take precautions, whereas I will not take foods with high sugar. The secondary prevention is when I have high blood sugar, I will take medications to prevent that. Tertiary prevention is when I have high blood sugar, I try my level best to control myself, not to lose my eyesight, or not to get a heart attack, or not to lose a limb. So therefore, the war as a disease, the primary prevention is already gone. So now what we are at is the secondary prevention, which is the rehabilitation and the reintegration. And keeping that in mind, the medical rehabilitation programs are provided for the ex-combatants, from the treating a common cold up to providing an artificial limb for amputee. So under that, curative and preventive healthcare services were provided. So what is health? The WHO says health is physical, mental, as well as social well-being. When we did health education programs for them, when we asked them what is health, they said it's physical and mental well-being only. Nobody knew it is social well-being as well. It doesn't mean that one is physically fit and mentally okay, that he or she is healthy. They need to have a very good interpersonal relationship with the society members, as well as they have to respect the norms of the society for them to be healthy. For those who lost their limbs, we provided artificial limbs for civilians, ex-combatants, as well as soldiers under one roof. Nearly 1,400 benefited. This was given in early 2010. And this is sort of a sign of reconciliation, whereas the soldiers, the ex-combatants, and the civilians, they came under one roof to get their artificial limbs, and almost all of them were injured due to the war. So let's come to the psychosocial rehab. So to start off with, you heard from the previous speakers as well, we have conducted psychosocial programs for the center administrators to identify the psychosocial needs of the beneficiaries, to understand the importance of the psychological first aid. So when a beneficiary comes to you with a problem, you might not be able to provide them a solution, but you can try to be a good listener, which is psychological first aid, and to refer them for the further care. And as you heard earlier, pre-reintegration, reinsertion, reintegration mentorship programs were conducted for a smooth reintegration. And this is, and again, this comes under the definition of the health, to understand the diversity and the importance of the harmonious living and the role of man and the woman in the society, and the interpersonal relationship and empowerment. So the mentorship programs were conducted. And the emotional intelligence and strength of life skills programs were conducted for the beneficiaries to realize the importance of the toleration, moderation, and the coexistence through the programs that you can see on the screen, like knowing your feelings, controlling your emotions with your mind, dealing with anger and rage, coping with grief and loss, and seeking a better future. And these workshops were 3-day workshops, and following the workshops, this is what they have to say. So what this beneficiary tried to tell was, my life is very happy. I am very happy now. And the psychosocial rehabilitation is, you help someone to manage their behaviors, perceptions, and reactions. In very simple terms, the psychosocial rehabilitation provides someone to get back to their natural environment. So how a change of attitude can occur? The situations will bring different kinds of thoughts. The thoughts will create moods and feelings. And the feelings will create the behavior and the reaction for the situation. So understanding that. So within the rehabilitation center, a conducive environment was created, and the situations were promoted, whereas they can have proper rehab. So as Malkanti earlier said, rehabilitation is all about changing hearts and minds. It's about to help them with their thinking, behavior, and social approach. If you want to reach into someone's mind, first you have to reach into their heart. Through their heart, you'll reach to their minds. So what one will expect from his or her life, family, and society. And what are these needs? A sense of meaning to life, belonging, acceptance, a purpose, value, being special, having power, dignity, and respect. These are the fundamental needs which can radicalize a person. So therefore, you have to address these needs within the rehabilitation program. So within the rehabilitation program, the families of the beneficiaries, they used to visit them. So it gives them a value to their life. And the mass marriage ceremony, so it gives them belonging and acceptance. As you can see in this picture, if you see, the husband is about 4'9" and the wife is about 5'5". It's very interesting. So I went and asked them how this has happened. So they said they were seeing each other for about 1.5 years, but the LTT did not let them to get married. So their fundamental rights are taken out. So whereas through the rehab programs, we have given that. And the religious and spiritual programs, which gives a purpose to life, and scholarship programs, acceptance, and they feel special. And the livelihood, which gives a dignity and a respect. And sports and recreational activities, which brings give them a power, or having a power of healing. And then again, recognition and acceptance. So they undergo a program, so finally they get a certificate that they are recognized. And this is the former Commissioner General of Rehabilitation having a discussion with the beneficiaries, those who are about to be reintegrated. And he is using Commissioner General's mobile phone to talk to his mother, saying that I am coming home tomorrow. So it is a recognition, and they feel that they are accepted. And though it's a center-based rehabilitation programs, there are programs conducted for community engagement. The beneficiaries, they visited the other part of the country. And in this program, beneficiaries together with the other youth in the country, they went along a river to study the diversity on the either side of the river and the importance of the diversity either side of the river for the ecosystem. So, and this picture you see, it's sort of unity in diversity. But it is not only that we promoted unity in diversity, we made them realize the importance of diversity in the coexistence. And you can see the two, maybe someone might say the two enemies who fought each other with weapons, now the one is playing, other one is singing, and again the acceptance. And even they visited the McDonald's in Colombo. They went to so many other places, as I said earlier. And the psychosocial, if you divide it into two, psyche is mind, the person, the rehabilitation program which we have conducted within the centers. And the social is a society. It's very important that the society would accept them back. So therefore, the awareness raising programs were conducted for the religious leaders and the community leaders about the rehabilitation program which we have conducted within the centers, and the importance of accepting them back to the society for a successful reintegration. And as you can see, the 6+1 model of the rehab, each component has the major role to play when it comes to the psychosocial activities. So as you can see, this is the disaster management cycle or the disaster continuum. So the relief, rehabilitation, we have the reconstruction and the mitigation. So the rehabilitation is mitigation. So if we don't do that properly, there's a high chance we might go back to the disaster again. And this is a peace building strategy. Yesterday, General Haturu Singh said the fighter has become a protector. And so what he meant was the peacemaking army has become a peace building army. So they have taken the responsibility of these 5 R's, as you can see here, for a sustainable peace and development in this country. An art exhibition was conducted for the ex-combatants. The themes of, they were given themes like their life at a rehabilitation center, and how do they see their future, and how can they contribute to the peace in Sri Lanka. And these are few of the drawings. As you can see, the number 1 is coming from the war-torn area to the rehabilitation center, is undergoing the meditation programs, vocational training programs. And again, the same number is, giving the arms, surrendering, undergoing the rehabilitation programs. And he want to have a happy life with his family. And here, the birth, growing up, going to the school. While going to the school, conscripted by LTT. So now he ends up in a rehabilitation center. And undergoing the rehabilitation, vocational rehabilitation program, with the reintegration, they get a toolbox to start off their livelihood. And this is a very interesting drawing. This is a war-torn area, and this is a developed area. And here conflict, here peace. And there's a river. And they are coming in a boat, and the boat says rehabilitation. And very importantly, in this painting, you can see they are resembling the all 4 religions in the country. And they say, when you cut, we all have the same blood. so what these beneficiaries try to say was like, we all are the same. And you can see that he has done the drawing of the hands also, that they are holding their shoulders each other. It means they don't want conflict anymore. They need peace. So through the successful rehabilitation program, and a former cadre who felt the hardness or the roughness of a weapon, we make them feel the softness of a flower. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Safras. Ladies and gentlemen, the picture says the 1,000 words. None of those paintings were guided or directed by the Bureau of Commissioner General Rehabilitation. Those were their own ideas. With those views, from professionals on Sri Lankan model of rehabilitation, de-radicalization, and preparation of beneficiaries to go back home, now let us listen to the United Nations best practices and guidelines for rehabilitation and reintegration from General Dr. Stone. General Dr. Stone is a highly decorated Marine with more than 37 years of command and staff service and commendable combat experience as a general officer. As reservist, he has also more than 27 years as an entrepreneur and business leader, where he has served in senior management positions in IBM and has been the president and chief executive officer of 3 successful Silicon Valley, California technology companies. Dr. Stone earned his advanced degree from the University of Southern California and his master's in business from Stanford University. He is a graduate of the United Nations Naval War College. General speaks multiple languages including German, Spanish, Arabic, Urdu, and recently he has learned Pashto as well. Presently, Dr. Stone is the Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of Transportation Security Enterprises, a technology company committed to advancing safe and secure public transportation. He is also the United Nations Special Advisor for Counterterrorism, and as a UN advisor travels the world working on behalf of the UN to advise violent extremist rehabilitation. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Stone.
Thank you.